Are you ready to learn the 3 secrets to launching a successful podcast? Hi, I'm Bill, a recent client of the Podcast Mogul. If you've been thinking about starting a podcast but aren't sure where to begin, he's got you covered. He is hosting a free webinar where he will share the 3 secrets that can help you launch, grow, and monetize your podcast without any fancy equipment or technical headaches. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot now and let him help get your podcast off the ground.
People want to see that energy. They want to see that you're passionate about it. And even the accountant, quite candidly, I push them, smile, show, that emotion.
Welcome back to another episode of Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I am, of course, your host with the most, Feel Better. And today, without further ado, we're just going to jump into it. We have Jeff Brandeis, the CPA sales coach. Now, you may be thinking, a CPA sales coach, what does that have anything to do with it? Well, surprisingly enough, he explains how he went from a CPA who is cloistered in a small office to being a sales coach and giving speeches. So let's just jump right into it and let's just go. Hey, Jeff, can I have a 30-second intro about yourself before we jump into this?
Sure. Phil, first, thanks for having me here. I'm Jeff Brandeis. Brandeis Coaching and Brandeis Training Solutions. We work with small to medium-sized entrepreneurs and businesses to help them grow in their sales process and creating a more profitable business.
I love it. I love it. We've had a lot of great business people on, and now I want to learn about how to grow the business even more, because we've had people starting their business, we had people exiting their business, but it's the growth that we haven't had this season. So I'm really happy that you're on here. Plus you offer great coaching for it, so it's even better. Let's start about your entrepreneurial journey. Where did you actually start? Like, what was the first bug that bit you? Mine was collecting stamps and then selling them. For some reason, that was my entrepreneurial journey start. But what was yours?
Well, I actually, when I look back on that, my career, Phil, I think about I helped my sister sell Girl Scout cookies when I was about like 7 or 8 years old. And it was, it started going door to door. So a lot of people talk about, going door to door. I literally was going door to door when I was 7 or 8 years old, helping my sister win prizes to win her troop first Girl Scout cookies.
All right. And so that obviously, I guess, the bug bit you then, and you just been working towards it. I'm guessing you had some 9-to-5s or those.
I had a lot of I had a lot of 9-to-5s in my career. I actually started my career as an accountant, and I worked in public accounting for 5 years. And then I got friendly with Dave Bergstein, who I still talk to today, and he moved me into kind of a sales role. And I had a whole personality switch, revelation in life, and went from that shy, introverted accountant to the guy that now does sales training, sales podcasts, stand up in front of a group of people. And it's been a lot of fun.
I can only imagine, yeah, because accounting sounds as riveting as accounting sounds. And it's super
so
riveting,
kind.
right? It doesn't attract the most outgoing people. Normally, they're a little more
Typically
introverted. Not. And you actually showed, like, you can be introverted, but you can go off and become an introvert. It's possible. It's just like everything. It's a skill that you need to maintain.
I still work with a lot of accountants, helping them grow their business as well, and trying to get them to communicate better. And one of the things we talk about to accountants is you don't have to be that flashy sales guy. You don't have to be that, with all due respect to used car salespeople. That's not what the role is all about. It's about building rapport with people, earning trust. And we all know that people will do business with people that they like and trust.
So true. Like, the loyalty that some people are saying are no longer in my generation and younger. We put our loyalty towards people and things that we trust. Like, you have to build that trust in us to get us loyal. Like, there are certain brands that I'm loyal to a fault because they built their trust for me. And so that trust, I will always do it. Like, for cars, it's probably Honda. Honda will probably be my go-to car because, one, it saved my life twice. I've been in 2 car accidents, and both have been in Hondas, and both have been totaled destruction, and I'm still here. So Honda right there, they're my go-to person. You know, my dad's had Fords and he's always had problems with his Fords. So Ford tends to say, not my they've lost my trust. But trust me, I love a Mustang. Like, what man doesn't love sitting behind like a
The muscle
69
cars.
Shelby Cobra, you know, like it's a classic. But then again, because the Shelby name is attached to it, that's where my trust is. But yeah, you don't have to be the flashy salesman. As long as you can
No.
talk and connect with a person on some level, you'll be able to sell to them and be truthful.
So one of the things we talk about in our training class is how to make that connection with people. And one of the key things that I found through my career is everyone tells you to listen to the prospect, right? Always things, right? And work with them. But they use such key words that most people don't listen to. And I'm talking about, there are three ways that people learn, and how people learn is how people buy.
Oh.
I'll repeat that again. How people learn is how people buy. And if they use the word, hey, can you show me how you do that? Or can you tell me about those things? Okay, the show and tell are how they learn. So if I went to you, can you show me, your car, and all you did was yakety yak, and you started telling me about how wonderful it is. If you're a car sales guy, okay, you're not gonna make that connection.
No.
Okay, but if I use the word, hey, tell me more about your car and what it does, and tell me the specs, and then you started showing me a brochure about it, again, they're opposite connections, and the brain disconnects. But if you actually did that and you started showing me things about it, all of a sudden I'll like you a lot better.
Yeah.
And I build that rapport because you connected. It's little things like that during that sales process is huge.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that, not so much in sales because I haven't gone into that route mostly, but my father is a insurance salesman. So that's one of the harder things to sell in life.
Correct.
And he understood how to speak to the client to sell his product. And that's what once you know your product and you know it's a great product, then it's the next step is understanding your client. And that goes with what you said, the hearing of the language they use, and how they learn is how they buy. I like that. I really like that. I think that's the name of the episode. Jeff, how they learn is how they buy.
And Phil, it's even more difficult today in our technology world to listen and present things differently because we are remote.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone says, hey, can you show me? You need to have a brochure. You need to pop onto Zoom. You need to be able to demonstrate some tangible things.
Yeah.
As opposed to just speaking.
Yeah, no. How has it been for, like, I'm generally curious because, as you said, in this day and age, because of COVID and the remoteness that we're going through, what kind of questions do you get from your clients? Like when they do face a client that's a more visual buyer than a auditory buyer, like what are some of the things that you've done to help them bridge that gap?
As we know, and we hear about and we read about this, is so many companies had to transform themselves from brick and mortar, if you were, to internet based, and even the sales teams had to change how they did their sales. Mm-hmm. So one of the things and one of the classes that we teach is how to use Zoom, how to use GoToMeeting, how to present more effectively using the tools and the technology that we have to use today in order to build that connection. How do you engage your audience using, again, Zoom, PDFs, chat, polling questions, whiteboards, breakout rooms? Most people can't really use Zoom the way you and I do. And we talk, we communicate where we are, but there's so much more power in these programs and so much more you can do with it, with whether you're on a Windows platform or you're on an Apple platform, it doesn't really matter. There's so much more on how you build that rapport and build that connection and bring people into your engagement of your sales cycle or the sales products. And that's where I see a lot of companies, candidly, when they talk about they need more leads, quote unquote. They need more leads. No, they get leads. They're just not closing them. because they're not using the tools more as effectively as they should be.
Yeah, no, because I'm part of a large group of entrepreneur groups, because that's what the podcast is. I need entrepreneurs for my podcast, so go where they are. I see a lot of them asking for more leads, or like conversions, or better sales funnels, or is this product better than that product to get sales? And now that you're telling me this, like I internalized it because of my father being a salesman. But hearing it from you, who coaches people and who probably has used it countless times, and that line, how they learn is how they buy, that just simplifies everything so much. Like, it clears the whole path, because it doesn't matter what your tool you're using, is if you can communicate with the client.
It is. I mean, the other thing I always ask, the entrepreneurs is, so if you had 10 leads, how many do you close? And, a lot of times I'll get the deer in headlights look. Well, I don't know. I think I get a couple, but, you're in business, and that's one of your most vital statistics, or things that you need to be tracking.
It's a solid KPI that you need to have.
Yes.
You need to know what your conversion is, or your click-through rate, or whatever that is.
Yes. And it's so important. And, again, if you are getting 10 leads and you're only closing one, it's not the lead. It could be the quality of the leads, yes. Or it's I need to invest in myself because I never went to school for sales. I never went to school on how to do presentations. So one of the things that, part of the show here is invest in yourself, invest in your business.
Yep.
And if you're doing all this outreach and the sales don't come to fruition, really, it's, with all due respect, look in the mirror and invest in yourself. And
I can't disagree. Can't disagree with you. I can't agree with you more. It is, and I've seen it myself. Like, I'm slowly building a podcasting business, and I know podcasting extremely well because I host two, and I'm part of another one. And I've been entrenched for the last at least 5 years, so I know the product really well and how it's grown. But I also have to watch out that I don't use the jargon. That's a problem too, using the jargon and all that for clients, because like some of them have no idea. They've never been in a podcast. So I'm also learning how your phrase, how they learn is how they buy. And for me, I'm learning how I have to buy my clients, in essence. So I have to learn how they educate so they can become clients of mine, and I can help them build their business through the magic of podcasting. So
right.
Thank you, for that amazing, valuable lesson.
My pleasure.
But so when you jumped into the coaching, or went into the sales, I'm guessing you didn't start right off with your coaching company. You were in what kind of line of business for sales?
So I was a VP of sales for, Wolters Kluwer and CCH, and I managed a sales team for up to 85 people. And, whether you're managing a big sales team or you're managing just 1 or 2 people, you're still coaching. You're still trying to work with people. You're trying to, make them grow, and obviously make the business grow at the end of the day. So I've always had a passion to working with people, training people, helping people. It's kind of one of the things I like to call my legacy. Is I love to see people grow and expand, and professionally, and then watch them grow, go up the corporate ladder. That's what they want to do, or, become an entrepreneur. So I did that, worked in the corporate world for almost 25 years. And then the past 3 or 4, it's been, training in the coaching side of my own. And I love it. It's,
you look like you look, if we look at each other right now, you probably look 50 at the great max, if we're talking like that. But you look so happy, you're relaxed. You don't look like most 50-year-olds I know. Okay, you look relaxed, you're calm, you got a beautiful view behind you, even though I'm pretty sure it's a Zoom background, but it's still a beautiful view, and you probably can get that view because you are your own boss and you've learned how to do it and how to get that level of success that you want by growing your business.
Well, it is a Zoom background. It's one of my pleasures of being on Zoom. I get to look out my own window. My window at my house does not look as nearly as of a great view as that. But it is about enjoyment, what you do, how you do it, and bringing that pleasure and joy to your clients, and even to your prospects, quite candidly, or the people that you're talking to.
Mhm.
Is when you get on a call with them or you get on a podcast with them and go, "Hello, my name is Jeff Brandeis, and I'm here to be your business coach, and I'm just so excited to be here." I mean, is that somebody you'd want to do business with?
Not at all. I'm sorry. Unless it's an accountant. If I'm doing with accountant, I want my accountant to be a little chill and not like me, like over the place, going all over the place. Because then I'm like, what are you doing with my money? I want someone a little more reserved, but with a little, pump and stuff in it, like a little life. I don't need the boring person.
You need to have the passion. You need to have the energy level to display to your prospects, and obviously the knowledge and the credibility that you bring along is obviously, of course, always key.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference at the end of the day. But people want to see that energy. They want to see that you're passionate about it. And even the accountant, quite candidly, I push them.
Yeah.
Smile. Show that emotion.
Show that you're human and not a robot.
Yeah, correct.
So do you, with your business, your growth, have you seen more growth on, like, what are the avenues that you use to grow your business and get your coaching? Or is it more referrals? It's a Facebook, LinkedIn?
The business grows for me really twofold. One is definitely referrals. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I ask clients is, when do you ask for a referral? And this might be contradictory to what you think.
Okay.
But the most common answer to that question is after they've been sold and I've done them right.
Yeah.
Right. So my answer to that is, so Phil, we're about to do business together. What I'd like from you is a referral in about a couple of days. When we get things moving, we're on track. You see that we're working well together. Can I count on you to give me a testimonial or a referral?
Yeah, that's the perfect time to ask, because they're committed. They'll commit to the beginning, and if you do prove it, they're like, well, now I feel obligated to follow through because Jeff helped me, or Phil helped me, or whoever helped me. So
correct.
Yeah, asking near the beginning is always this. Jesus, it's smart. I've been asking at the end. Maybe that's why I've gotten only one referral.
Nah, yeah, but it's part of my sales process. That's what it should be. It becomes natural. The other answer is LinkedIn. For me, it's definitely viable for me because I'm looking for that professional.
Yeah.
Facebook does bring people in, but for me, it's going to the LinkedIn profiles, making that connection, looking at someone's profile, and it's also about doing your homework. Before you jump on a call with somebody that says, yeah, I'm interested in your service, I look at their LinkedIn profile. I take a look at their Facebook page. If I can find something of interest, look to see where they went to school. Do they have some kids? What did they write an article recently? So I can just bring all that into my conversation. Again, build that rapport.
Build the value. Show that you're not here just for the sale. You want to learn about this person and help them more than just get them to sign over the X amount of dollars. By doing your technique or tactic or whatever, you're making the conversation enjoyable one to the person because they love it. Like, you just recently had a book come out on Amazon, probably a few months ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
And I have it. Where is it? I had it up. There it is. Done Deal. Done Deal. Sorry. Done Deal. The step-by-step handbook to sales success. It's already in my. By the way, it's already been ordered. Because it's always good to learn and have different ways, different tactics or different strategies to help yourself. Like, if you focus on one strategy, it's not always going to work. Like, you
Correct.
Focus on LinkedIn, but also referrals and sometimes Facebook. If you only focused on LinkedIn, you probably wouldn't get as many referrals as you do, or as many clients as you do. So, one, I'm definitely going to be top link this book because it's an awesome. It looks like an awesome book. I can't wait to read it. I wish I could have got it beforehand, but the U.S.
Thank you.
Postal Service, unfortunately, there's been some troubles there. I do want to know about the process of writing the book. Like, how much work did it go into writing the book? Because I did have the book boss on, a man who helps business owners become the name in their industry, and he's on his goal is to help, I think, 1,000 or 100,000 business owners become the authority in their business or in their industry, and he's at 50 now. And so I asked him like how hard it is, and he's like, it's once you have the template, it's easy. So I want to know, this is your first book, I'm taking it, correct?
Yes, and I actually just did the second one that was geared towards accountants.
Ooh, when does that one drop?
A little bit after this one, about 3 or 4 months, but it's called Becoming a Rainmaker.
Ooh, all right, that's interesting. So is it getting easier to write the books? Is it getting harder? What pitfalls have you found?
It's interesting, Phil. Thanks for the question. I will admit, Done Deal, honestly, took me about 4 years to get done. It was something I wanted to do. I started it. I put it down. I went back to it, and this was just like my roller coaster, right? So I can't tell you how many times I started it and maybe did a chapter or something or a few paragraphs and put it away because work just gets involved, other things get involved, life hits you, and this was just one of those. I was on vacation or on the airplane, and I would just do some more writing. So yeah, I finally decided I was gonna just get this one done and wrap it up, and because it's not just writing it, it's getting it edited, getting it proofread, checking for spelling. Then you have to go get a graphic designer to talk about the cover, and then you got to be able to have someone kind of put it into a Amazon format. I mean, it just doesn't. You just don't take your Word file and go boom.
Here you go, Amazon. Have fun.
Right. And then they go through their check, and that took me almost 3-4 weeks because of pagination and covering and bleeding and all these new terms that you pick up, in book publishing. But the other one took me a little less time. So,
and probably the next one's going to be done in a lickety split because you have everything in lickety split in relative terms, not 4 years length, maybe 2 years this time or a couple of weeks.
Well, at the moment, I don't have one I'm working on. So we'll maybe I'll look back and pick up on something of I don't know. So one of the things I think we all have learned something through the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So, the pandemic eventually will go away, but the things that we learned should last.
Oh yeah.
And that might be the topic of my book, but it might I got to abbreviate that.
Yeah.
But we learned a lot through the pandemic. So anyway, I haven't come up with a good catchy title yet.
I like it. It's here's something: learning from the pandemic.
I'm sorry.
Learning from the pandemic.
Yeah.
Pandemic learning.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah,
look, I'm helping you out there.
Thank you. It's one of those I always kind of wonder. People are sick of the pandemic, quite candidly. So it's like now having a book called Pandemic.
May not win it. Like 5 years down the road, maybe people will be okay with it. The next 5 years, though, I don't think because there's already, I believe someone made a movie about the pandemic in America.
Oh, really?
Where it's going, like the pandemic just keeps going, and now there's like militarized and all that. And I'm like, look, it's 2021. I'm not ready for a pandemic movie. Give me some love,
yeah.
Like Bambi, Disney fun movies. Leave the serious stuff for another 2 years.
Yeah, or maybe it's 2021 to 2020 to 2021. Things we have learned that will last.
There you go. I like that because you're referring to what happened, but you don't get hit. Plus, you get the numbers, so you're up there already on the list. I like it. I like the way you think, Jeff. Very good.
Thank you, Phil.
There's so much I want to ask, and I just don't know where to start or continue with. With your clients, and I'm guessing do you mainly deal with accountants, or you're dealing with all the range of entrepreneurs?
Well, I do deal with accountants, but I am ranging with other entrepreneurs. It's a mix.
Okay. And what is like maybe the top 3 tips you can give someone when they start their sales process? Like, what is not to give away your secrets or anything like this, just
That's
general
all right.
tips. What are some top 3 tips that you usually give?
I'm sorry?
Top 3 tips you would
Top 3 tips.
give.
So you kind of touched on the first one. So everyone should have a sales process. Okay. It may not be the same for every company, but you definitely have a sales process. So map it out, put it down on a piece of paper, start with a blank sheet, and put down the steps that you go through to get a sale.
Okay.
Even if you start with a lead comes in the door, warm lead, or you're doing, marketing, you got to create the funnel at the end of the day. That's called a funnel, is where the leads are coming from, where you're advertising from. And we talked about this a little while ago. So you got a lead come in. How many do you convert to a conversation? Create those KPIs, key performance indicators. Okay. It's so important that you understand your numbers. And I'm not talking to accountants here. I'm talking to you, the entrepreneur, whether you're selling a product on Amazon, you're selling a service, you're selling a consulting, you're selling plumbing, solar panels. I don't care. You got to know your numbers. Okay. And if you ever watch Shark Tank, right? What's the one thing Mr. O'Leary or Cuban, they always tell you?
What are your numbers?
Know your numbers.
Yep.
Okay. It's not just sales numbers, but know your conversions, know where your leads are coming from, know how long it takes you to close the sale, but follow that process. Okay. So you have the leads coming in the door, you're speaking to them. Do you close them on the first call? Again, a lot of it depends on the products. Does it take follow-ups? Do you have to do a presentation? So if you think about those steps and you write them down, and then you create something to track them. Even if you just start in Excel, very simply, just to track everything in Excel, do that. If you don't want to invest in the CRM, you don't want to, learn all that stuff, that's okay. Just start simple. And as you begin to grow, you'll begin to invest in more tools and more technology. But you got to be able to do that. It's so imperative that you have that. And most of the time when I speak to salespeople or even the owners, and the most common mistake I find is you're typically ahead of your prospects in the sales cycle than they are in their buying. Because you skipped steps in your sales process.
Oh, I like that.
Okay. So you need to basically finish a step in your sales process before you should move on to the next one.
I like that. Yeah. Keep pace with your client or your prospect and they're buying an adventure, because it's an adventure for them, because it's something new, something they haven't done before. So if you know your product outright, like I know podcasting, I know the power of a podcast, like the reach it can give you and the authoritativeness it can, because I've seen people like Joe Rogan, like just simply there, like, yes, he had a following beforehand, but he tripled his following with the power of podcasting and now has an exclusive deal with Spotify.
That's great.
If I tell someone that, they'll be like, yeah, but how does that benefit me? So you have to go through that, like the whole journey with them, explaining the benefits of the podcast, which is the sales funnel in essence.
So it is a journey. And one of the things I also talk about is I ask people, what do you sell? So you're selling your podcast, you're selling maybe solar panels, you're selling plumbing, you're selling whatever. Okay. or you're selling a new kitchen or swimming, whatever. Okay. So at the end of the day, I'll ask that question. Well, I'm selling technology. I'm selling a great looks. I'm selling, a modern kitchen, so the dream kitchen of somebody that really love, or I'm selling the greatest software platform that the company needs to have in order to be productive and sell more things, right?
Yeah.
All true. But it still comes down to one word in my mind.
What is
one
that
thing
word?
it's change.
Yes.
People
Change.
hate change. They don't like change. I've been doing it this way, Phil, for the past 10 years. Oh, I don't want to do something different. I know my process. I know what I'm doing. Oh, yeah, it looks like you have a great product, but I don't want to change, right? How often do you hear that?
In my 9-to-5 job,
Yeah.
constantly.
Correct.
And I even am adverse to change, even though I've seen the benefits of change in my own personal life from last year to this year. But yeah, change is probably the hardest thing for any individual or company to do, because it's just, they think of the headache, they think of all the work that's going to go into it. It's problematic. Why would I do that? Like, you're looking at a stack of dishes. I could wash them now and get it over with, or I can let them soak, and then deal with it later, instead of looking at do a little now and then a little later and then it's done. You're not changing everything, you're just improving everything. And so I'm guessing the best way is to see how you can solve problems as the sales technique.
Yeah, it's it all comes down to also it's understanding the challenges that the client has.
Yeah.
Not what you think is the best things of your software or your products. And that's also something else that sometimes gets into the conversation or a demo or a presentation is, let me show you how cool this feature really is. Let me show you how great this functionality is. And meanwhile, you're a client, I don't care. I don't even, I wouldn't use that no matter what my business is, but you just spent the past 20 minutes telling me how great it is. And it doesn't affect me one iota because you didn't ask the right questions up front to find out how important that was.
I love that. It is true. Growing your business, selling, coaching, mentoring, all this, it's communication and listening to the person, actually listening and understanding what their needs are.
As we said earlier, Phil, and I say this a lot, we went to school for business. We go to school for marketing. There is no degree in sales.
No.
Okay. You don't come out of school being hey, I just got a degree in sales. It's on my wall. Look at my degree. We don't have that.
One. Yeah. And I don't think there ever will be, because there's so many different styles of selling. But the core basis for everything is connect with your client so that they don't feel screwed out of the deal, feel that they were manipulated or anything like that. Because I know from personal effect, I've been getting, ever since crypto has taken off, I get a lot of people saying, hey, you want to invest in crypto? And it's like, do you see anything on crypto on my page? Like you're or they come in with the, hey, how's it going? Try to get to know you. And then they're like, hey, have you heard of crypto? And it's like, we were having a good conversation. And then crypto showed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have hundreds of questions up here, and they just don't want to jump out. And so you're doing your coaching. What's next for Jeff? What is the next eventual goal? Where are you growing your business to?
That's a great question. I mean, it's always one of the growth is exponential if you're able to get there. The growth is expansion. So it's training, it's coaching. I think really when I look at businesses, and this is another aspect of what I'm going to be adding on pretty soon, is setting the entrepreneur up for financial success.
I love that. It's so needed in this generation.
So it's really, I mean, one of the things I do talk about also is paying yourself. I know it's tough. A lot of companies aren't making a lot of money, but that's part of life, but you still have to pay yourself, and you still have to plan for your future, plan for your retirement. So financial planning, annuities, you need insurance, that type of stuff. And I mean, I get asked a lot on, okay, so what should I be investing in? And so, I just got my license on annuities and health insurance and life insurance. So it's something that I, will bring into the picture. And I have a team of CPAs and financial experts to help with conceivably even buy-sell agreements, risk management type of things, and things that honestly I probably will never become a master of, but I will be a connector for the businesses that I work with to make sure that they're taken care of, because at the end of the day, it's all about the holistic approach to a business. And for me, it's watching them grow, being successful, adding people on, and all that great stuff is I get great joy out of.
It is. It's true. Like, I can feel, even though we're not in the same place, but through your words and through your energy that you're saying, for you, it's not about getting the money. Getting the money is secondary. For you, it seems, is helping that person grow their business to where they are successful, even far more successful than you are, because you can still look and go, I helped him. And for you, it's a badge of honor. Yeah, he's making billions and you're making millions, but you're happy because you have a success story to share with the world, which makes, one, it gives more gravitas to you, because you're like, hey, he's a number one student of mine, and he can say, I learned from Jeff. And so everybody's going to come towards you. So it benefits you by helping others. It benefits you. And I think there's a lot more of that, and I'm really glad that I'm able to talk to, because every single one of my interviewees have said they prefer helping people, but then you just said something, pay yourself first. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs have that problem. They don't want, they've been told you have to invest in your business, but if you're not investing in yourself or paying yourself, how are you going to be able to continue investing in your business?
Right.
And what's really great is the season finale, which I recorded on Saturday, which it's a little weird, but the gentleman's in France, and he's a I'll tell you off air who he is, because I don't want to spoil it. I want to tease, right?
Okay.
He said the exact same thing. You have to pay yourself first. If you're going to help people, pay yourself first, then you can start helping other people in your business or outside. So if you're not being paid what you deserve, how are you going to be able to help build those businesses or help those clients?
Right. I was on the phone with one of the things I also do, Kenley, is I volunteer for SCORE. I don't know if you've heard of SCORE. It's an organization that helps entrepreneurs, basically people who are just trying to get started in business. They don't typically have a lot of money to go hire a coach, for example, and so they're always looking for advice, quite candidly, how to incorporate, how to start a business, how to go market, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I was on a call last week with a young lady that wants to work with executive women and help them with their appearance.
Okay, great.
Okay, so she was talking to me about, she's been charging $75 an hour. She really wants to be charging $125 to $150, and she took this job and that only paid her $40. And I said to her, look, if you just go take a job for the sake of taking a job because you want the $40 coming in the door, you'll never get to that $125 or the $150 because you're not going to have the time to really work that. And then I went to a website, right? And she had the prices out there and then on sale. Okay. And then I went to her LinkedIn, and you have your banner ad, and then you have your face. In her face, she has open for work, looking for work. So I said, look, the value that you bring to your clients is the value that you believe that you're worth. If you only believe you're worth $40 and that's what you're going to sell it for, then great, sell it. But if you're going to advertise, I'm looking for work, the first thing someone's going to go, oh, she's not very busy, she's not very popular, she's giving away her services, right? So get rid of that, okay? Get rid of on sale off your website. Yeah, you can have a promotion, a limited time, but you can't always be on sale.
No.
But you also have to be able to ask and feel good about asking for that $150 an hour if that's really what you want to get, okay? Mm-hmm. And these are the reasons why I'm worth it.
Yeah, no, I think we as a society have not learned how to value ourselves because we go into a 9-to-5 and we're told this is what you're being paid. Okay, that's what I'm worth. And instead, when you become an entrepreneur, you have to put down your foot and say, no, I'm worth X amount of dollars an hour or X amount per session or whatever. So yeah, that's a really hard pill. I've had difficulty swallowing on my beginning entrepreneur journey. I was like, well, I think I can sell this for like $100. And then I realized how much work it is. And it's like, nah, bump that up. And I went on different websites that provide it, and they're charging 3 times the amount, 100 times the amount that I was charging. And I'm like, well then, time to look at doing something a little more expensive or just in that range that I feel more comfortable doing or charging. So
if you're new in the business, look at what the top people getting, look at what the new people are, check out your competition. Quite candidly. I mean, if you want to know what your pricing, what the average pricing is out there, check out the competition. It's so easy to do.
All the big businesses do it. Like it's part of business. They do their market research. They see what their competition is bringing. So if you're going to go into a market, do exactly like a big business and spend a day searching for the same people that you do and find a price that you're comfortable, that you feel you're valued at, and put it at that.
And look at their messaging. What attracted you to them? How did you find them? I mean, there's so much value you can get by just doing your homework. And I'm not saying steal it. No, that's not really what I'm saying here, but you can learn from the industry, learn from the market maker, learn from the leaders, and take the best of the best and make it your own. Yeah. Because that way it's research. You're not plagiarizing or stealing anything. But if you take the best out of the best from everybody, you're doing your market research.
There you go. And plus, they're already spending millions and hundreds of dollars on this.
A lot more than you. Yep.
So they probably know why this funnel, or they're using those words. It works because they have the proof. They've spent the money doing their market research. So it's only fair that you borrow the best parts of each industry, each company's bit, because each bit is different. Like I've combed the internet for a lot of stuff on podcasting, and I'm like, well, I don't really think this is important. I think this is really important. And I've cobbled together a little template for my clients that I'm going to be doing better and better with. But for right now, it works. And I've gotten amazing feedback already from 2 clients. So I'm like, so this is going good. So I'm going to continue this and find more and more stuff. Because if I'm investing in myself to invest in my clients, it's only going to win for both of them, for everybody involved.
Yep. And remember, it's research.
It's all research. You're not stealing anything. You're researching people. Jeff, we're coming up to the end of the podcast, which sucks because I didn't get to ask you half the questions I wanted, but you provided more value than I was. I always expect a little value. Everybody seems to give me like 100% more value than I ever thought possible. So I'm going to give you this last little bit. You can tell everybody where they can find you. If you want to sell your books, whatever you want, this is your time to shine, sir.
So thank you. If I want to look at my books, look at the website, you can take a look at BrandeisCoaching.com, which is obviously also on my TV screen behind me. You can go to JeffBrandeis.com as well. And I'll offer your listeners and your viewers complimentary call. Go to speakwithjeff.com, www.speakwithjeff.com. Book some time on my calendar. Let's just talk. Let's see if we're a fit for each other. If I can help you, that'd be fantastic. And it's a complimentary call, and we see where we go.
That is amazing value that you just provided to my guest, Jeff. Thank you so much for that.
My pleasure.
There. Put me over there. There we go. So, Jeff, I want to thank you, one, for the amazing value, the amazing advice that you've given. You've given more advice than I think I've warranted in this podcast. So thank you very much for that.
My pleasure.
Thank you again for that amazing offer to have a one-on-one call by just going to it's www.callwithjeff.
Speak with Jeff.
Speakwithjeff.com. It's going to be in the show notes near the top so that you guys can take a few minutes, speak with him, see if your guys would be great for Brandeis Coaching or anything else he offers, because he's now a licensed insurance salesman. So if you need insurance, he's your guy. If you're an entrepreneur.
I like the phrase more as a wealth advisor or
wealth management. Okay. Sorry, yes.
Well,
that my dad.
The insurance, it's a tough term. No offense to your dad.
No. He also goes by he doesn't use insurance. He's a he works in the wealth management department or something like that. I know it as insurance because back when I was growing up, you were an insurance salesman. You didn't deal with anything else. You were an insurance salesman. Right. Now it's like
I'd rather not deal with the health insurance and stuff like that. I'd rather deal with the 401ks, the annuities, things that would really truly have an impact on people's lives and future savings. And there's so many new tools out there that, even candidly for you would be fantastic, where the market drops 100 or 500 points or even 5,000 points, because we know that's going to happen at some point, where you'll have less risk or zero risk regardless of those fluctuations. And you can only go up. You can't lose money. I mean, there's some great financial tools out there that are relatively new in the marketplace. So that's my pitch for that part of it. But sales training, business coaching, yes, let's talk as well.
So I'm going to just add on to what he says. He is literally telling you the truth. The tools that wealth management people have in touch and access to is amazing for your future. For even when you're estate planning, it's great because my dad. For your kids, my dad pretty much told rich people, because he dealt with the upper class stockbrokers and that. He said, look, you're going to die. It's inevitable. Your estate's going to have a lot of taxes. So what you do with me is you buy an insurance policy, you pay to that insurance policy. When you do pass on, the government, because there's estate taxes in Canada and around the world, the government doesn't touch your estate. They touch your insurance policy. And then your estate stays full. And so that's how he sold it. And for me, I'm like, that makes a lot more sense than betting against the company that you're going to die.
Yeah.
So I have to say, go to Jeff if you want some financial wealth management advice or help, and he can probably point you either in the right direction or connect you with the people.
Yeah, we'll do even for that, we'll do a free financial plan for you and give you advice for free.
Look at that. My dad charges an exorbitant amount of money for that.
Yeah, it goes typically about $2,500 to do a good, just as a starting point.
Yeah.
And candidly, you'll have a plan. You can do a couple things with it. And the same thing with the sales training or anything else that you do. Okay. And when I get done, you do nothing. Mm-hmm. You put it in the drawer. Or you say, oh, I can do this on my own. And then 6 months later, you call me and go, hey, Jeff, I need help. Or we just start today and we do it right.
There we go. So ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you, Jeff, for your amazing advice. Take this moment and at least invest in yourself and call Jeff. That's all I'm asking you. Give a call to Jeff, set it up, and you'll see your life. He's going to help you grow. And who doesn't want to grow and make more money and have a financial freedom as an entrepreneur? So ladies and gentlemen, again, Jeff, thank you. And invest in yourself.
Thank you. Take care, Phil. Everyone stay well.
Guys, that interview was amazing. His book, Done Deal, is great. I'm in the process of reading it. It's an amazing book. You should get on it. Obviously, show notes have some links for you to go listen to it. If you want his coaching, if you want to follow his Facebook, his LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, anything, I highly suggest you guys do it. We follow him. Obviously, the Feel Better does, myself, obviously, and Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur does, because we invest in our entrepreneurs, our influencers, and our business owners. Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick note, the sales of the books have been phenomenal. I am so excited. Go to merch by feelbetter.com. Again, that is merch by feelbetter.com, and you guys can pick up some books that I have there for sale, especially the ultimate seven steps to launching your podcast. It's up there right now for you. The name may be different, who knows, but yeah, it's up there ready for you to buy. I'm just so excited for you guys to check it out. I want to thank you so much for spending your time investing in me and this podcast, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks for tuning in. Now it's time to take the next step. When you're ready to dive deeper into how to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast, Phil's got something special for you. Join him for a free webinar where he'll reveal the 3 secrets that have helped countless entrepreneurs succeed in podcasting. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot, and let's turn your podcasting dreams into reality.